All right, well, let's jump into our first list that we need to create together. So I'm going to share my screen with you if I can. We're going to talk about visuals here. Now, these are visuals that I'm only splitting them into two categories for the sake of not pitting like Spiritfarer against Last of Us Part 2. I think that's a weird comparison.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry if this is oversimplifying it, but it's best visuals, and it's going to be either more that realistic / live action thing where you're trying to make it, even if it's a fantastical world, you're still trying to make it realistic, like a movie, like Lord of the Rings.
Immortals wouldn't be part of this.
Correct. Immortals is going to be in the next one.
But Assassin's Creed probably would be.
I would put Assassin's Creed in realistic. I would put Immortals Phoenix Rising in animated. Okay. So, and I know there's going to be some gray area for some of these games. Like Tell Me Why is the example I used earlier. That might be a good example of a gray area. Like you can make an argument it's more artistic and animated, but I also think they're trying to...
They're going for realism. I think they're going for realism.
That's what
they're going for both.
Yeah, because I mean, Spiritfarer is like hand drawn animation.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
But like, so Hades, but like something like Final Fantasy VII is not hand drawn animation. It's a polygonal character models, like it's 3D, but it's not like photorealistic.
Yeah,
exactly. It's not photorealistic. It's
like a
you're saying that
whatever.
No one looks like Tifa in real life. Is that what you're saying?
I wish.
All right. So
Hope's dashed.
My girlfriend. Rethink my life now. Jeez.
All right. So let's talk about realistic / live action type video visuals. Let me know when you can see.
So are we going to do like 5 for each, or is this a ranked list like you were talking about?
I think we can do 10.
Okay. 10 for each.
10 for each. So you guys see my screen here with the visuals, realistic live action header. Okay. So here are the games that are eligible, and there might be something missing. Let me know if something's missing. They're in alphabetical order here. I'm not going to read them off for the listeners. We don't need to do that. We'll just start naming the ones as you go through the list that you want to move over into round 1.
It's a little small. Not sure if it's small for everyone else.
Yeah, let me zoom in.
Maximize your window, homie. Not
enhance, Tim.
I was just going to suffer through it, but thank you.
Enhance.
How we doing? Is that better?
I maximize my Skype window.
Enhance more.
I'm good.
Yeah, that's good.
Enhance more.
Enhance more.
I want to be able to see the whole
more.
Yeah, I agree with Darik.
You might want to back up until we can see the whole list.
Yeah, sure.
Just give me a Kylo Ren. More.
All right, this is good enough for now. Okay, let's start. Let's go alphabetical through our group here. So we'll start with Dan, then Derek, then Jeff, then Kyle, then me. So we'll just take turns picking a game to move over into the round 1 column. So for those of you who are just listening, if you're not watching us on YouTube, we've got a far left column of all the games that are eligible, and we're just going to move them one round at a time to the next column, and we're going to trim it down to 10 and then rank them. We might not end up needing a round 2. That's just there in case we need it. All right, so round 1, what do you want considered? Dan, you start us off.
Better say the right one.
I don't see Last of Us on there.
It's down
the tease.
Okay, The Last of Us. Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
That one, please.
Okay.
Yeah, you said the right one.
Yeah. How so that's number 1? I don't know.
This is easy. The best looking game of 2020 is Godfall.
I
knew it.
Geez. I'm having flashbacks.
All right, Jeff.
Troll game out of here.
Jeff.
You like falling too much. That's what you like to do.
So this is going to be weird to put this before a lot of other games, but I'm going to go Black Ops Cold War.
Okay.
Are you serious? The game looks so good.
No, I said the game looks good every year, so I don't know if that's that weird of a choice.
Yeah.
Is it me? I would say Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay. I'm gonna move Star Wars Squadrons over.
Oh yeah, dude. Good call.
Great. Yeah, great.
Dan.
Okay, so Final Fantasy VII is considered part of this list, yes?
That's where I put it. You guys could tell me if you think it belongs on the animated.
I mean,
side.
if I want animated, it would be like the top.
I mean, subjectively, that's what I want, but I feel like Spider-Man Miles Morales is a better looking game, so I'll pick Spider-Man.
Okay, Spider-Man moving over. Derek.
Let's go.
There's a glaring one right there.
Valhalla.
Okay.
Do that one first.
All right. Jeff.
Come on, man. Flight Simulator. Get out of here. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna pick next. Yeah.
You're right. I'll do yikes. Resident Evil 3. Look good. Resident Evil. That engine is amazing. That engine's so crazy.
It's amazing.
I'm gonna move Cyberpunk over, but that's just because I play on PC and it looks amazing on PC.
Does look better.
Sometimes my characters look like Metal Gear Solid 1 characters, but yeah, I agree for the most part.
This is one of the first games where I realistically am like, wow, I can tell who's good looking and not good looking in a video game. Like it's really, really detailed on the PC version. I don't know what to tell you. It looks great. Dan, back to you.
7 remake, please.
Okay, Derek.
This is because I play it on PC. Mortal Shell.
Okay, I actually just started that one this week too. It does have some really striking visuals. I like it.
Can you scroll down? I don't know if that's the end of the list.
Let me rearrange.
Pedestrian is a 2021 game, by the way.
I think it's out now, isn't it? Or is it just early access?
No, it comes out this month.
Oh, I thought it was already out. Okay, we can just ignore that one then.
Get him out of here.
But by the way, that one will have, from the videos I've seen, great visuals. But
this is getting challenging for me. Do I go with one of the sports games because they always look good, or?
I gotta be honest. I only played one sports game, and it was Super Mega Baseball. It wasn't even a realistic one, so I didn't play any sports.
Me neither. This is not a good podcast for sports games. Sorry to all the MLB The Show fans, NFL fans.
Sports
I
ball.
play them. I just don't care. They're not gonna win.
I didn't play it, but I heard Half-Life Alyx was amazing, so I guess we should throw it in for consideration.
I haven't played it either.
It's really.
I haven't played it. Yeah.
It's the VR thing is really shackling that game, but I hear
it's revolutionizing like VR, and no one's talking about it. So yeah.
Kyle, what would you move on
to play it without VR? But
gosh, yeah, we are kind of getting to the bottom of the barrel here.
So for those who are just listening, most of the games left. I mean, there's a few on here I think should move over. Most of them are racing and sports games, though.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Neo too. It looks good.
Yeah, we're in the looks good.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna make top 10. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna move Doom Eternal over, and this is weird because it's funny because this is the realistic / live action visuals, and there's nothing about Doom that's like, yeah, that's just like what I saw in real life.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's if they were to make a live action movie of Doom now,
when you see like holograms of people or something, I mean, they're real people and stuff.
I feel like this one belongs in realistic. Am I off base on this?
No, you're right. They're going for realism, even though it's not.
Final Fantasy later, but this one I feel like is pretty.
All right, so I'm gonna move Doom Eternal over. We've all gone through 3 times. Is there anything else? Doesn't matter if you go out of order. Anything else you want to have moved over?
I feel like
Marvel Avengers. Is a good looking game.
I was gonna say Marvel Avengers is definitely better looking than a couple of games on here.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
I would say
you're gonna hear me make a lot of the same arguments against that and Cyberpunk.
Derek, weren't you talking about Dirt 5 being a really good looking game?
Yeah, I was gonna tell you that Dirt 5 should come over.
Is that the one where they cast voice actors in it for some reason, like Troy Baker?
Yeah, they have Troy Baker and Nolan North are like they talk like.
They're the commentators.
That's so weird to
Not
me.
like during
it's a racing game, guys. Calm down.
Racing, they're talking about like your career and they'll give you advice and stuff.
So one that we didn't bring over, and I know it got trashed for visuals by some people. I actually thought it was a really good looking game. Was Watch Dogs Legion. But I'm not saying that all the character models looked great, but I still thought it was a good looking game.
I thought facial hair in that game looked awful, and everybody I got had a beard on, and I was just like, oh, I don't know.
I wouldn't even fight for it to be on the top 10. I just thought I'd mention it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say the environments actually look really good in that game.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best looking games as far as like London looks absolutely amazing, but everything else, like the character, like the entire character models are absolutely terrible. Voice acting's terrible. Facial animations are terrible.
Well, that's because there's only like 10 voice actors, and they just modulate their voices to sound like different people.
One of my main characters who had
ridiculous.
One of my characters that had all the skills that I wanted. She was awesome, but it was a modulated voice, and so I hated when she talked.
Oh my gosh, I had so many characters like that. Yeah.
Don't talk anymore, please.
All right, so stuff we're leaving over on the left is going to be a bunch of sports and racing games. We brought Dirt 5 over, though. I'm sure things like F1 2020 look amazing. I'm sure MLB The Show looks amazing.
But FIFA looks great. I don't know.
I'm sure they all look fantastic. Are they worth bringing over? Do you guys want to debate them?
I mean, I didn't play.
They look great. Like every year, they look better. So I mean, it's kind of like Madden.
Hey guys, sports games looks good every year. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. We're also leaving things like Maneater, Ghost Runner, Gears Tactics, Amnesia. Tell Me Why. Twin Mirror, Yakuza, Like a Dragon. Those are all staying off the best visuals list. Yes, everyone good?
Yeah, Twin Mirror is boring, so I couldn't care less about its visuals.
Fair enough.
Tim, I'm gonna need you to say "tell me why" in the appropriate manner.
Tell me why.
Yeah, there we go. Now I understand.
That's actually a really good looking game. I was surprised on my 1X when I played that game how good it looked and how far that dev has come. But it wouldn't last in round one, honestly.
Agreed. All right, so we've moved over 18 games. 18 games. All right, so we got 18 games. Let's narrow it down to 10. We'll just skip round 2 and we'll move it right over to 10 games. And so this is where we have to decide which games make the cut to top 10. We're going to go in reverse order now. So this is where I'll pick first one that I suggest we move over unless someone is dramatically against it. But I'm going to play it pretty safe, I think. I'm going to say we move over Last of Us Part 2.
I agree. Yes. In full agreement. That should be honestly at the top, in my opinion.
It's not number one.
It's going to fight for the top,
I'm pretty sure I already listed the number one. I didn't shy away from that.
Kyle,
don't you Godfall this, man. Don't you dare.
Godfall is absolutely gorgeous.
Okay, which one would you say should
I gotta keep on back at my Ghost of Tsushima. I think that game is absolutely beautiful.
I think it belongs in the top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff?
I know I went Black Ops Cold War first last time because it did kind of every time I pick it up, I'm like, this is kind of blowing me away. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm an idiot. Flight Simulator should be in the top 10. I don't know what I was thinking.
They recreated Earth.
Yeah.
What?
Think about what they did with that
Earth
game.
has never looked this good.
Biggest open world ever.
The only better graphics are flying in a plane for real.
Exactly.
All right, Derek, which one do you think should be in the top 10?
Godfall.
Really?
Yes, it's all about visuals. This isn't about whether you like the game.
This is just visuals.
Yeah. Not necessarily though, because it's also about the actual style of a game, the actual artistic.
That's true. That's true.
Style.
Yeah,
I so agree. I totally agree.
Okay, so let me change my answer to Godfall.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
that's you know what?
Very on brand.
Shocking.
Very on brand. Yeah.
When I see what's lower in the list, I think that's fair. In all honesty, I'm kind of like, well, the other ones aren't probably.
I've only seen videos of Godfall. I don't own it, haven't played it yet, but just from the videos I've seen, I can tell it's a really
you can play it on PS5 or a really good PC, and it's absolutely stunning.
I can tell it's a good looking.
Anybody who's played it
looks good.
Exactly
yeah, I don't know if I like the art, but yes, I can definitely agree from the 4K trailers I've seen that it looks great in the style that they chose to put it in.
Dan, what are you moving over, or what would you like us to move over, unless someone's adamantly opposed to it?
Let's see. Actually, because I've been playing so much of it, so it's kind of in the forefront of my mind right now. Valhalla.
Yeah.
Because, dude, the lighting in that game is bananas.
It's very good.
Just the way that it cuts through trees and when you go over a hill and how it bounces off the fog and
yep.
It's crazy, dude.
Yep. I totally agree. I think Valhalla deserves to get recognition for its visuals this year. All right, I'm just going to start suggesting a few, unless you're super opposed to it moving over to the top 10, let me know. I think Call of Duty needs to come over to the top 10.
I agree.
Sure.
Did you play it, Kyle?
No, but I've seen plenty of footage of it.
Okay.
I mean, it looks amazing. So
yeah, it kind of blew me away. To see it on a screen is another thing when you're playing it. It's like
seeing it moving.
It kind of blew my mind on 1X. I was like, this in 4K.
I think amazing. That's these three should all move over. That would put us up
was literally thinking the same thing. Yes.
Yeah, all three of those. Yeah.
So we have Resident Evil 3, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Star Wars Squadrons. Sure. Dan or Derek, your thoughts on those three?
Well, I support the first two. I don't care about Squadrons. I
know you don't care about the game, but visually.
No, I haven't even seen it visually.
Yeah, I was going to say I haven't
seen it. Actually, was ugly on other platforms.
I know, but I'm talking about my experience with it. It was gorgeous.
Dude, it looks it looks so
great.
good.
Yeah, it looks great.
I honestly can't even believe the clarity that game is.
Same. Yeah. So well, and especially how fast you feel like you're going in that game, and it keeps up all of its visual fidelity.
Exactly.
I'm gonna put it right here for now, just in case we have to give something else a spot.
Sure.
So we've got 8 games over here. We still haven't moved over things like
Cyberpunk. I would bring Cyberpunk over on art alone. You know what I mean? Just the way that
I think with the games left, honestly, and you guys can disagree.
Yeah, I would just.
I'm going Final Fantasy VII and Cyberpunk.
I would just move them over at this point.
Just because, like, even if some of these other games are better looking, I don't think any of us really invested that much time in them that we care about them.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So the ones that
I
are
didn't
being
even
left
play
out,
Half-Life Alyx. Like, I mean, I just wanted to represent.
I didn't even play Neo 2. I just thought it looked good.
Yeah.
the ones being left out are Dirt 5, Doom Eternal, Half-Life Alyx, Marvel's Avengers, Mortal Shell, Neo 2, and Watch Dogs. I didn't expect those to make it. So
I played, I think, almost every one of those, and I think what we have moved over is fine.
So this puts us at 11. If we had to kick one out, just so we abide by some sort of rule here.
Well,
what game doesn't go in?
We could argue for Final Fantasy VII being in the animated one, and then like at the top of it, though.
I would consider it stylized personally, but that's just me.
But I don't consider it, because animated to me again is more like if you're gonna talk about hand drawn games or.
Sure.
Or like
this is stylized like an
or
anime,
like a Harvest Moon or something like that. Like
but I'm with Jeff. I feel like it's trying to hone in on an anime, like feel, and like I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I know like
splitting
hairs at this point.
You're all racist.
Exactly, because it's Japanese. Yeah, we're being racist. Yeah,
I am being racist. But
honestly, Final Fantasy would probably go further in the anime.
That's
what I'm saying. It would be like
I don't even know. I can't even think of anything besides Immortals and maybe like the
80.
The Zelda
there's a ton.
game.
There's a ton of.
But again,
that's the problem. Is this list is way bigger, and so I'd much rather keep it in realistic just for the sake of logistics. But also, I do think they're going for realism on the character models and the faces and the explosions and the weapons and the environments. To me, strikes me as realistic as opposed to.
That's how I felt when I played it, but
and again, it's also about the actual.
Sounds like majorities.
Okay. Yeah, I think majorities in y'all's favor for sure. So yeah.
All right. Well, let's
just move Godfall.
Yeah, keep Godfall out of there then.
You're not touching my shit.
For the sake of also just being able to start ranking this first list, we're going to leave it at 11 for now. Whatever's at the end, when we rank them, is getting bumped off the list.
All right, so let's do this. I'm the only one, and Godfall is literally my number one. I'm the only one that thinks Godfall should be over here. Everybody else either hasn't played it or really cared about it. The only reason I'm willing to take it off is because Godfall is, to me, not just gameplay-wise, it's basically like art style is like a Destiny. And to me, Destiny does Destiny really good, but we never vote for it because we know what Destiny is. So I'm fine with Godfall going, but I'm just going to say for anybody who's listening, if you're going to be upgrading to a next-gen PS5, at some point you have to, even if it's $10, buy this game and just look at it.
I said when I get a PS5, whenever they make more than 3 of them, that I'm gonna buy Godfall immediately. It's my jam, like a melee, kind of.
To be really clear, I'm not for or against games that I haven't played. I've seen enough of Godfall to know it's a good-looking game. I haven't played it, so I kind of defer to those who have played it where it belongs. So I'm not necessarily needing to take it off.
It's hard, like for instance, like I think Assassin's Creed Valhalla is a really good-looking game. It is, but it's a big open world. Godfall isn't. So Godfall is actually way more detailed, and it's actually not just subjectively; it's objectively a better-looking game. Like it's just looks better visually, but it's smaller in scope.
That's fair.
And it is more basic.
Yeah,
like
I get that argument.
So. That's fair. Well, let me move the ones that I feel like, based on our conversation already, are towards the top group in no particular order here. But I feel like based on what we've said, Last of Us Part 2, Flight Simulator, Ghost of Tsushima, I don't know. Maybe Assassin's Creed is around that 5 or 6 range. It's hard to say based on what we've said.
I feel like Spider-Man's a better.
Yeah, I feel like Spider-Man looks better.
So
I think Spider-Man.
I know Flight Simulator is like a big kind of like technical marvel because it's like, oh man, it's like it's the entire Earth, but like, does it actually look good? Like
yeah.
Like
okay, so when I first played it,
looks amazing.
When I first fired it up, and by the way, it was an absolute pain to install. It was such a big file to install. It's so annoying, and getting it running, and it took forever to load.
Gigs, right? 150.
Yeah, huge game, absolutely ridiculous. So by the time I finally got loaded up, I was a little frustrated, and it opened up, and I was able. It allows you to just jump in mid-flight. You don't have to take off, so you can just experience it right away in the air. And as soon as it loaded in, all of my frustrations of the last however many hours it took to finally get it working just disappeared. I was like, I've never seen anything like this before. I'm just on a 1440p screen. I'm not using like top of the line screen, and my PC is like above average. It's not ultra. But it looked so good. Like I leaned back and just watched. I was like, I can't believe this looks like this. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. So, yes, and that is coming from someone who this game didn't do anything for me emotionally. I didn't tell me a story.
This is all about visuals. Yeah,
it's just visuals, and this game to me belongs definitely in the top 10. I would say it should be in the top 3. But the reason why I first moved up things like Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima is those also told me a story visually and really impacted me emotionally as I played it. Both just Ghost of Tsushima, wandering around the open world.
Please hit X to cry.
Yeah, I did. I did tap X to cry.
I do that all day.
Me cry, but it is a cry.
By the way, Kyle, your video went away. I don't know if are you still there? Kyle still here?
He jetted out. He's like, I'm done with this podcast. We're talking about stupid flight simulator.
We might have lost him for a sec. Hopefully he comes back. But Last of Us Part 2, I feel like did character models better than just about everybody this year. I can't think of any other character models that were that good.
I agree. And not just that, but during the action, you never lose that consistency. Like, not once. Like, every single character action is mapped out no matter where you are on the map whenever an enemy finds you.
The actual like animations and the way like Ellie moves through like the actual environment is like is insane.
They perfected
like how she like places her hand on like if you're like kind of crouched by a vehicle, the way she places her hands on like the surface is like. And I know that seems like such a small thing.
It's a big deal.
But they thought about it, right? It's just the fact that they thought about it and executed it to like perfection. That game is just.
So there was a moment, and this doesn't apply to visuals as much, but for me, it struck me visually is when you get to one of those familiar workbenches, and you take a breath for a moment because you can pause, and you get to the workbench and you kind of lay down your gun to start working, and then boom, she gets attacked in this kind of scripted moment.
I love that.
It was so good and so visually striking. Like those moments like that. Where I really thought I was watching a movie, watching a show.
Yeah. I can't believe
I was playing this on a base PS4. I couldn't believe it. I kept
I was on a Pro, but
is that a PS4 still? Did it change into something else?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it was on a base.
But when she is like tweaking the guns, like even just like how she's talking on the talking back on the gun and everything, and like the little bullet comes out of it as she's kind of working on it.
Yeah, it's so cool to watch her do like, and just like every single gun is like picked apart. Not to accuracy because you got to move along the game. It's just it's cool to add those little touches in there. The floor.
So let me ask you guys about Cyberpunk 2077 real quick. To what degree do we need to take into account, really for any of these discussions, but also for visuals, how it might look for other folks? Because I can only speak to my experience.
Same. Yeah.
It's tricky because, like, you need like a super crazy PC to like fully experience what it's capable of.
I'm playing it on. I found my best settings right now until I get my super duper PC. Is I'm playing on a 1440p monitor, same one Tim uses, and I'm running the game at 60 frames per second with everything set to ultra.
Yep. Same.
Even with that being said, I think it's good looking, but you don't hear me talking about it for a reason. Same. I don't think it's that amazing looking.
But there's a difference between amazing looking and like the scope and like artistic style that they chose to use to like encapsulate like the feel of a world. And I think Cyberpunk
functionality.
Trumps that for me. They nailed like the visuals for what they're trying to capture, and like you said, the feeling of it. But I'm talking like main characters look great, but like everything else, especially again, this is on PC, real grainy looking. And again, I understand that's like kind of what they're going for, like this dirty, gross place, but like it just didn't look real clear and crisp, is what I'm trying to say. Even on like good sets.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of the NPCs aren't. I played on a PS4 Pro, and like sometimes I'd run up to people and like they wouldn't even be textured yet, So like I and that was more like at the beginning when I started playing, and not now. But like,
and I played it on Xbox Series X.
When you like, there's certain moments in that game, or certain streets, or certain areas where if you just stop and you look in 360 degrees around you, like there's things in that game that you've like that that are just breathtaking.
I still caught my attention, Kyle, because I agree with that. Nothing that caught my attention was the first time you go out of the city, unless of course you start as a nomad. I think you start as out of the city as a nomad, but I started my story as a street kid, and then eventually your tasks will take you outside the city.
Yep. Yes,
and
it happens as Corpo too.
And I'm okay, same thing. So I'm not saying that the textures of the trees or rocks or bushes or whatever are all that amazing, but something about going outside the city, I felt like I was in the deserts outside of Las Vegas or something. When I turned around and looked back at the city, there was just something about that, and the ability to see that far into the distance, to see that much detail. I could see advertisements about buildings and stuff.
You see the flying cars, and you see like traffic.
Exactly.
You see so much going on there. Yeah.
Very, very good. But I think you guys kind of answered my question. It's not going to be about experiences I've heard outside of our group, but if within our discussion we're saying there's some things I saw that I didn't love, I think that's enough to keep it from going too high.
I think it deserves to be lower on the list just because of like all the issues that we all have shared.
I'm probably the only person in here that had the worst experience on PS4 Pro. Like I had to switch to PC because it was that bad.
Yeah.
And just imagine me plus however many people have asked for refunds or whatever. Like that's the experience that they were having. I didn't ask for a refund because I'm not a little baby. I can wait for patches.
Hey, I asked for a refund.
Oh, you did?
You're a baby.
Well, I bought it on PC and Xbox Series X, and I was like, I don't like it that much that I want.
Oh yeah.
On Xbox Series X anymore.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. But with dude, it was just crashes like once every 2 hours, and the visuals were kind of a mess. The grain was so much to a point that it was like it made the game super ugly on my PS4 Pro. Even turning off the film grain, it was still just atrocious.
I was gonna ask both you and Derek that, you can turn off the grain. Okay, I see.
I did, and it was still like, what the heck, man? It's still bad.
It's still a grainy looking game.
I left it on PC and it worked great. So I don't understand. I don't understand what the functionality issue was on my PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I ran it on PC, just at regular 1080p, I was like, this is automatically a better experience.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, I think to me it's obvious what the number one top game is here. I think it's clearly Ghost of Tsushima.
What? You're mad.
It's Ghost of Tsushima.
Go ahead and make your case for it, because it's in my top 3 for sure.
So are the character models like as clear and vivid and realistic as say like Last of Us Part 2? No. But
there you go, number 1, Last of Us. There we go. Move on.
Hold on, but it's certainly not the worst visuals, right? It's pretty up there.
That's why it's 2.
It's very detailed, but also again, I'm talking about art direction, the actual style.
Yep.
Like
I think
the
that
environment,
counts.
the lighting.
I was making for Cyberpunk. I think this counts for sure.
I've never taken more pictures in a video game in my entire life, and I played Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like I took so many pictures of Ghost of Tsushima, it was insane.
Hit circle to cry and take a picture at the same time.
Yes,
and haiku. Yeah.
Is it just that you liked seeing his rear end when you got into the hot tub every time? Is that what you liked?
I mean, for me, that's what it was.
And it increased my health, right? So
got it.
Win-win.
Can I? I agree with everything Dan just said, but also if we're gonna go one facet deeper of just like things look pretty, Last of Us 2 has animation, so there's a whole side to animation just looking so good.
So to me, and again, I don't want to get into, and I'm not saying this is what anybody's doing, but I think it's important that we separate that we can't just sit here and one-to-one any of these games. Like Ghost of Tsushima is going to be more in a category with Valhalla, maybe Miles Morales, because they're bigger games, Cyberpunk 2077. These smaller scope games are clearly easier to make look prettier. That's just the fact.
Well, that's why I said Last of Us, for example, is more detailed,
so for me, for this type of visual category, here's how I rate it. And I'm just going to share what I do. And this is why I picked Godfall. It's when I boot the game up and I look at it and it makes me go, holy shit, this looks great. Like, this is amazing. And that's what I said when I saw Godfall. That's what I said when I saw The Last of Us Part 2. That is what I said with Ghost of Tsushima. I never said that with Cyberpunk. I did say it with Call of Duty. And I said it with Spider-Man. So those are like my top ones.
Yeah.
Oh, and Resident Evil 3 looks amazing, by the way.
Oh yeah, of course.
But again, it's a smaller experience, right? So
yes,
it's more concentrated.
I'm just saying, what made me go, "Wow, this looks amazing."
You also have to consider.
Good.
I mentioned the action before with Last of Us Part 2, and you also have to consider how fluid the action looks in Last of Us Part 2 compared to Tsushima, because in Tsushima, it's kind of chaotic and stuff, and not as fluid. And
I mean, Last of Us can be chaotic too, and some of the sections where there's more dudes,
it's just so crisp. The action is so crisp,
I
especially.
will say this, and I know
2-on-1 or 1-on-1.
Yeah. Not everybody has a PS5. If you play Ghost of Tsushima on the PS5, it automatically jumps to the 60 frames per second. It's it actually changes the visuals. Like when I was playing multiplayer, like the multiplayer mode on PS4 Pro, it looked good. It was a little fuzzy. It was a little grainy in that too. And then I played it on PS5 and I'm like, did they patch this? And they didn't. It just looks better. It looks better. And
so I tend to
makes it smooth too.
Within a lot of these categories, there's so many things to consider. I tend to kind of, in my own head, create subcategories. And so when I check off the box of things like level of detail, character models, environments, animation, lighting, action, and I consider all those things, it's hard for me not to put Last of Us Part 2 at the top of pretty much all. Like, it checks all those boxes. I can't think of a weakness visually, and I love Ghost of Tsushima. You'll hear me talk about it a lot throughout all these discussions.
Same here,
but
man.
I think it has a little bit of weaknesses when it comes to the facial animations and some of those levels of detail. And when you get up to when you're in the environment looking at it broadly, it's amazing. When you get up close to stuff, it's like, oh, that's not bad, but it's not going to blow you away. Oh, sorry, Kyle. You're muted.
The Last of Us Part 2 is number one. It's number one.
I was gonna say, and the NPCs in Ghost of Tsushima can be a little robotic, which that's not a problem in Last of Us.
Because they don't really have just standard NPCs, right?
Yeah, the AI is genius.
Exactly. I think that's another thing. That's another whole facet of this is that like every single NPC really, really, really matters in The Last of Us. Where there's
dude, when you kill somebody and they're like, Charles. Yeah. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
That's not visuals. It's just a funny.
Well, also, can we just say that one girl that you kill is playing a Vita? So.
Oh, that's fine.
Shameless. So it automatically wins Game of the Year.
So I'm going to put it at the top for now. We could always boot it out if we need to.
Probably deserves.
We're not going to boot it out.
It sounds like
number 2.
It sounds like Ghost and Spider-Man. Did I hear you guys saying Spider-Man should go up there?
I think Spider-Man, again, remember I'm playing on PS5 and I've played all the modes and all the modes look absolutely stunning. And when you're playing in 60 frames per second with like the ray tracing still activated, so they have a performance ray tracing, so that one it's not native 4K, but it honestly looks native 4K and it's super smooth. It's a great looking game.
It is.
It's not the best looking open world because, again, when you get into level of details, all that stuff, I do think they're very sparse with the way they build the world.
Well, I was actually going to not argue, just say that Flight Simulator I would have actually put above, strictly on visuals, I would have put it above Ghost of Tsushima, but.
Yeah, that's kind of why I left space there because I
wouldn't even be mad if Ghost of Tsushima ended up second. I wouldn't even care. But Miles Morales, I feel like should be below Flight Simulator because it's reusing a little bit of resources there, like a lot, almost all the entire world.
Would agree.
So I actually, in my personal list, I'm going to put Last of Us Part 2 at the very top, and then Microsoft Flight Simulator second, and then Ghost of Tsushima third. That's my personal.
That's how I would go too, myself.
But I haven't played Spider-Man yet, Miles Morales yet. So
dang it, man.
Saving it for PS5.
Saving it for my PS5, which is never available anywhere.
I think you and I are just Sorrow brothers. We're never gonna get one.
Worth saving. You know what? Damn, nobody's talking about Demon Souls. Holy crap, that's one of the best looking games ever.
Oh, I bet it is. I know I would probably be championing it if I had a PS5.
So we should have said this at the beginning, but that one is left off of most lists outside of remasters, which is actually our next category. Oh, okay. Because because it is essentially built from the ground up. Just to be real clear, people like JP, calm down, it's fine. But so it's been rebuilt.
Don't listen to this show. I ripped on them too much.
Yeah, right. It's been rebuilt. You're right. The code is new. Got it. But it's pretty much the exact same experience from start to finish, even though it looks way better. And I've heard, maybe even controls better, things like that. But
yeah,
maybe I'm off base. I wasn't including it in categories for best of any of these for 2020, except for the remaster re-release category.
Otherwise, I would be arguing for Mafia here at some point.
Mafia has a great soundtrack, but
great
I considered it a remake, so
yeah.
Derek, do you think it needs to be considered here as a 2020 best visual, or are you okay with it being?
I do think so. Like, I get what you're saying, so I'm not arguing against why you're leaving it out of a lot of categories, because I would agree with that. But we're just talking visually here, and this is a game that came out in 2020, and I played the PS3 version this year, and it looks far and above, way better than the PS3 version.
We could make an exception just to talk about the visuals, because those are new for 2020. I'm okay with...
Dude, you can take Godfall out and put Demon Souls in.
We're still at
Nobody's
11,
championing Godfall except me. And
that would
Demon
still
Souls
be,
to me.
still be 11. We're going backwards somehow.
They're staying right where we are.
Okay, so we've got Last of Us, Flight Simulator, Ghost of Tsushima. Talk to me about Assassin's Creed versus Spider-Man. Let's just rank Assassin's Creed versus Spider-Man real quick. Dan, which one would you put higher?
I mean, as far as like when it comes to visuals, what's important to me, I'm gonna pick Spider-Man.
Okay.
I like the style of it more. So
that's one. What about you, Derek?
Valhalla.
Oh, get
Jeff?
out of here. Try hard. Miles Morales, and you know what gives it the edge? They put in the end of the Spider-Verse suit, and it looks amazing.
It animates
just like the movie. It's so incredible. I have no idea.
I would go Spider-Man as well. Yeah, it just looks better.
All right, so that's 3. Even though I'd pick Valhalla, that's fine. Spider-Man's going to go above Valhalla.
Where's the try hard comment towards Tim?
Yeah,
I want equality.
I haven't played Spider-Man.
I haven't either, but I've seen enough videos. Like, I know it looks good.
I can tell.
I meticulously look at those videos.
The reason I picked Valhalla is because I think, as far as when you look at like the entire world and all the characters, I think it's the more polished, prettier game. I just think Spider-Man.
It's not. You're wrong.
It is.
That game crashes on me at least 2 times an hour. So no, I don't agree with that at all.
Let's talk about these 4 right here. Right now I'm leaving Squadrons towards the bottom just because I have a feeling there's going to be at least one person who says it shouldn't be too high.
Boo that person.
Let's talk about Call of Duty, which I know is so different from these other games, but Call of Duty or Final Fantasy VII, Cyberpunk, Resident Evil 3. I've only played 2 of these. I haven't played Call of Duty.
Final Fantasy is staying on this list. I really push for it being the next one. I think it looks amazing. I think
it looks fantastic.
Yeah,
I think
since
that game
we're already
so
in the visuals
amazing,
category and we decided to put it here, absolutely.
Yeah, I think if
there's
it's
like
staying on this list, it needs to be up there.
There's a couple blemishes with 7, but honestly, like it just the fact that it took them 2.5 years
Resident Evil 3 is better looking.
I mean, but again, it's a way smaller game. Like
I know so that.
Remake is linear.
I'm talking about like wow factor, like what it looks like. That's why I said you cannot compare all these 1-to-1.
But you're saying wow factor, yes. And Resident Evil 3 is visually very pretty and it did wow me. But like Final Fantasy 7 made me cry. So
Yeah, Final Fantasy 7 has. I like the artistic style it went for personally.
I do too. I think it was that dance sequence that really won me over.
Yes.
That took it from a 10 to a 1.
If we're being honest, I haven't seen a ton of Resident Evil 3. I haven't played it, so I can't really speak to that. But I do put Final Fantasy VII Remake over Cyberpunk.
I think I put Resident Evil 3 over Call of Duty. That's just me personally.
I'm backing that 100%.
See, I think Resident Evil 3 and Call of Duty tied.
But same here. I was going to say they're even for me, so either way is fine.
But nobody's moving up Demon Souls, and it really should be higher. Just say.
Demon Souls looks great. Yeah, if we're leaving it on here, and I've seen the videos and everything, I think it looks great, and it probably deserves to be around that like Resident Evil 3 mark.
Dan, did you play Demon Souls?
Yeah. No, it's gorgeous. Yeah, for sure. It's gorgeous.
Final Fantasy Remake, gorgeous. Above or below that, where would you put it?
I mean, the actual, like graphically, like visually, I think it's definitely it's a built from the ground up PlayStation 5 game, so technically yes, but I still obviously like the
biased.
You like the visuals of 7 more.
You like the one Sony game better than the other Sony game.
Derek, what about compared to Spider-Man? Demon Souls and Spider-Man, Derek.
I think Demon Souls is the better looking game.
What a shocker.
Interesting.
What a shocker.
Shocker.
And because Jeff and Kyle, you guys haven't played it, right? You guys haven't played Demon Souls?
No, I've only seen the video. I've seen the 4K videos, but I think it looks amazing. I'm not going to sit here and fight against that. Yeah. I think it looks outstanding. Yeah, it looks outstanding.
I'm not going to cry. Like, leave it there.
Yeah, I'll let y'all speak to that because those games have just never appealed to me because I'm horrible at them. So
fair enough.
Get good.
No,
but there's just no way it looks better than Miles Morales. I'm sorry.
New video game.
Crazy.
All right, so I think Squadrons belongs above Cyberpunk.
That's my opinion too, honestly.
So I'm going to move that one up, which means Cyberpunk essentially gets kicked off the list for visuals, which is fine if that's the case. This is what it looks like right now. We have Last of Us Part 2, Flight Simulator, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, Valhalla, Demon Souls, Final Fantasy VII Remake, RE3, Black Ops, Squadrons, and then Cyberpunk gets booted off the list.
Get him out of here.
Get him out of here.
I mean,
you guys,
I'm not mad at it.
I feel like that's kind of where we landed with our discussion here.
I mean,
I think that's fair. Yeah.
So just for me personally, like again, technical marvel, Flight Simulator, that's great. I think to me it just means nothing because it's just Earth. Like
we're talking about visuals though, not.
I know, but again, you're just rendering Earth. I literally live on Earth, and the Earth sucks. All right,
you can't just be like it's just Earth because it's not like impossible to code.
Welcome to Earth.
You just use Google Earth and take a picture and slap it on there. Like they recreated all the geography of the world.
No, that's fine.
And all of the weather patterns. I don't know how they did.
I'm not just talking about the actual graphical.
This won't even be in the Game of the Year discussion, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. So
to me, it's just not just about
give it its one time.
Yeah, you know what? I'm with you, Dan, but let's let it stay on here. You know,
no, that's fine. I'm just saying to me, it's not literally just about like we're talking like almost like lack of substance. It's
sure.
You know what I mean? Like
I totally get exactly what you're saying, but
I could have played.
It's probably never going to come up again.
You can't say it's got lack of substance when you literally can learn how to fly a real life plane.
Yeah, it's the closest you can get to flying everything.
Visually, lack of substance, not the actual like what's in the game and what you're doing. Like,
if it's snowing in one state, it's snowing in the game as you're flying
over.
I
don't even fucking like snow. I hate snow.
That's impressive.
I hate it so much.
That's
I hate living.
Say you have to like snow, but
hop in your
no depth.
Tim, hop in your pretend plane. Come pick me up and bring me to Hawaii.
I don't like zombies, but I think some zombie games can still look good. Whatever. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay. All right. So there's our top 10 best realistic visuals.
No, Tim, that's your top 10. Yeah. That's not mine.
This is mine and Tim. Me and Tim's top 10.
This is you guys dominated this conversation. Godfall got kicked off.
You got Demon Souls in there.
You kept Microsoft Flight Simulator. Nobody gives a shit about that. I have a PC and I won't even download that shit.
Now that I can agree with, but it's fine.
When you have a list of 10 games and you've got 5 people, I think the fact that we all got some games on here that we like is a victory. So
I look forward to knowing whatever Gaston thinks of this list. So,
hey guys,
where's Doom Eternal?
Now that we have this list finalized, we need to start healing. Let's start healing now.
It's 2021. We can all heal now.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if you knew this, but as soon as it was January 1st, everything is fine. Everything's fine now.
I'm fine now.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
I think things have gone smoothly since then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally. All right. Well, let's move on to our next category. This is where we can just pick our own, take a breath from arguing with each other and pick our own here. This is best remaster or remake. Why don't we just try to name one? If you want to give a honorable mention or two, that's fine. But just pick what was your favorite remaster or re-release or remake or collection, however you want to define it. It's really up to you. It's just your personal picks. So I'll pick mine first, so you guys have a second to think about it if you haven't written down your list yet. Where did mine go here? There it is. All right, so there was I thought a bunch of good ones this year. So I'll just pick 2 honorable mentions for me are going to be the Mario 3D All-Stars collection. I understand it got a lot of scrutiny because it didn't do this or didn't do that. I still loved it. I played the crap out of Mario 64, beat that game again. I'm almost done with Sunshine again.
Nice.
And I love it. So I think it's a great collection. They could have done more. Yes, they could have done a lot more, but I still enjoyed it.
It certainly was a re-release.
It was definitely a re-release.
Yeah,
Mafia Definitive Edition.
Yes.
Deserves a lot of love. I think that game was amazing. It was fun to replay that. And I had also replayed Mafia 2 Definitive Edition, which didn't have as many improvements, visually and gameplay-wise, but still was fun to revisit.
Yeah, that was just a straight-up remaster.
It's just a fun game still, though. Mm-hmm. So my favorite, though, this year was Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. I've put a lot of time into that and feel like I still haven't gotten anywhere close to, like, halfway through that game. So, but I love it. It's beautiful. It's so fun. And great remake. Or remaster, whatever it is, technically. Derek, what about you? What was one of your favorite, or a couple of your favorite remasters, remakes?
So Demon Souls would probably be top of the list. And then honorable mentions would actually be Resident Evil 3. And then even though I didn't play it a lot, I still thought it's, again, one of those games I booted up and was like, this is amazing looking considering what my memory of it was. And that's Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Yep.
Like they did an exceptional job of like bringing it back, and like I said, I didn't play a lot, but it just looking at it and then comparing it to my memories of when I played it for hundreds and hundreds of hours, it was like they nailed it.
Yep. Kyle, what about you?
What hasn't been said yet, I would say Mafia is great for me, but Kingdoms of Amalur, I didn't get a chance to play it whenever it came out originally. So like getting to play it now, I was just like, this is how did this game like totally collapse and destroy an entire developer? You know,
Kurt
like
Schilling's fault.
Yeah, I mean, I actually know the whole story. So yeah, I do know, but like, I'm just like, you had such a great thing going here, and you still screwed it up somehow.
I still believe that game was like ahead of its time.
Way ahead of its time. I agree.
And people didn't understand it.
I think the combat's awesome. It was written, created, like visualized by like a dream team of like creators. I've just really enjoyed getting to this game. Also,
I own it and still haven't played it. Whoops.
It's wonderful, and I think we're getting like brand new content this year sometime. Like they're making brand new content.
If you bought like the special edition or whatever.
Yeah. And then just a quick shout out, they re-released the entire Dark Knight like trilogy, like on like everything. So like go play Star Wars, Jedi Knight, and Jedi Academy, and all those games are great. They're super great. Yeah, they still hold up to this day.
Oh, the was that
Jedi Outcast, Jedi Outcast 2, and then Jedi Academy would be the third one.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, great games.
Dan, what about you?
Shout out to Resident Evil 3, obviously. Unfortunately, not as fleshed out as they did with Resident Evil 2 remake. But I still really like it. I still think it's really fun. It's a blast to play through.
I think, right?
Yeah, to play through multiple times, it's super fun.
It's very arcadey in that they want you to play it. Like
and Nemesis still terrifying. Relentless. Dude will
really just annoying. That's all.
I mean, no means no. All right, Nemesis, no means no. So,
how come no one has Me Too'd Nemesis yet? What's going on?
He wants those stars.
Because he'll just blow your face off with his rocket launcher.
Dude, social distancing, please.
I know. Yeah. Put your mask on, Nemesis.
What if Nemesis wore a mask in an update? That'd be amazing.
But obviously, I don't know how any of you clowns didn't say it. The #1 remake was obviously Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I didn't because I'm considering it a brand new 2020 game. But
yeah, same.
If you want us to move the title, so it's a remake.
Yeah, let's just move it to this list.
We can move it to this list if you want.
So here's the thing. Take it off of Game of the Year talk. Yeah,
it's literally called remake, right? But is it actually a remake at all?
No,
that's the
question. That's my argument for Mafia, is that it's a remake. Even though they slapped Definitive Edition on it like it's a remaster, it's a brand new game.
It looks like a new game when you play it.
I looked at old gameplay and I was like, God, this is trash. And
it's literally 20 years old, right? Wasn't it a 2000?
It was a 2001 game, I think. 2000,
yeah, PS2, I think, right?
Was my final.
Is that your favorite, Jeff, from this year? Was the
I mean, aside from the obvious only because it says remake in the title, Final Fantasy. But yeah, Mafia is definitely my favorite. And then shout out to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered was pretty slick.
Yep, they got a lot of votes from our community. Yep.
And also, I wanted to completely crap on Crysis Remastered. That was a total ish show. Wait, we've already cussed on the show, right?
Total shit show. I did.
Yeah.
About snow.
Look at Tim. He's like a sad parent. Like he's just
so disappointed.
How dare all of you?
He's lost his children. Like they're now teenagers and they've just gone crazy. Poor guy.
I can't mouthing off at the dinner table.
I think as long as we don't become like those people who don't know other words, so they just fill in the gaps of silence with the F. I'm fine with it.
I live in Massachusetts. What else am I supposed to say?
For the most part, Derek and Dan, you guys have done a good job of using it for funny punchlines or big moments. But if you started just dropping it, all like Dan's old buddy from his Chocobro show, I'd be like, dude, you have to stop.
Dude, it's so hard, though. It's so hard.
That's what she said. All right, so
there you go.
Oh, Jeff, did you have any others? Sorry, you got cut off there.
No, I just wanted to crap on Crysis because it really made me mad.
Fair enough.
What did you get Crysis on? I just got to ask him.
1X.
Okay. Because I bought it on PC for like $8, but I haven't really tried it because it broke my laptop, basically.
Dude, when you see it boot up, you'll be like, why did they even do this?
It came out on the Switch, which I'm sure it looks amazing.
Yeah, so if I buy it on the Switch, would it look great? Or?
Yeah, on the Switch, it's probably amazing.
Yeah. You know that moment on Cyberpunk when characters' faces wouldn't load up? That's fully loaded.
All
on
of
the
it?
Switch.
Oh,
that's how.
Well, I'm used to that now. So yeah.
So for our community voting for this, and we got to revisit the visual ones for community as well. I'll tell you the winners there. But for best remake, remaster, all that stuff, it really came down to 2 games, and only 2 votes separated them, and it was Demon Souls in second place, and Mafia Definitive Edition in first place.
Nice.
Wow. Remasters.
Yeah. That's the correct first place.
I think most of these votes ended up being pretty good in terms of the way they ranked stuff. Not as good as ours, guys, but pretty good. Best visuals.
Well, you guys got the show, that's why.
Best
Take the big
realistic visuals, which we just went through this list ourselves. In case you guys are curious, the community voted, and it really came down to there was a top 2 and then a 3 and a 4 that were all really close. So 3 and 4 was Assassin's Creed was in third place, Ghost of Tsushima in fourth place, and they only had 1 vote separating.
Jerk voters.
The top 2, number 1 was Last of Us Part 2, number 2 is Cyberpunk 2077.
Wow. PC
for visuals?
For visuals.
PC
So did like 2 people vote that are all like PC Master Race?
No, this category got like 100 and something votes. So yeah.
Some people voted right. That's all.
People are just compensating for its failures. It's fine.
I guess.
Some people really love just the cyberpunk aesthetic.
That's what it is. Yeah, I think
the email addresses of most of those voters was at cdpr.com, but I don't think that means anything.
Yeah, no, obviously.
Just kidding.
All right. See that interrogation apology video, by the way?
I did.
It was pretty funny.
I can't watch any more of their stuff. I'm just like, guys, just shut up and just fix the game at this point. Yeah. Like,
but the co-founder,
stop saying stuff. Yeah.
Do what Hello Games did. Just be quiet. Make your game better over the next couple of years.
Thank you. That's
and then Hello Games did release. Hello Games did release a game this year, a new one, and it was decent and like no fanfare.
Yep.
People just kind of forgot about them after.
They're like, is it awful? No. Okay, don't talk about it. Everyone quiet. All right, well, let's move on to best animated, or I hate using these words like stylistic or artistic. They're all artistic. No one get offended, please. But this is basically they're not going for a realistic look in characters or environments or any combination of those things.
So we have even more in this list, right? Even more.
Yeah, there's even more. Let me share my screen so you can see this one here.
Can't wait, man. This is going to be difficult.
Wow.
This is going to be an interesting one. So if you can't see the list, it's about twice as long as the other list was.
Enhance.
I could, but it's such a long list.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what she said.
Scrolling forever.
She totally said that. Long list. Look at that long list.
Let's try. We're just gonna start. I'll have this.
Oh, I get it. You guys are talking about a penis instead of a list.
Right?
I wasn't. What are you talking about?
So I'm just gonna let you see the first section here. Let's just pick ones from this first section, then we'll scroll down and we'll pick together from the next section. So
I'll just put Hades at number 1. You're all gonna suck its penis.
I mean, it looked.
All right, you said penis now twice.
I would just move it over.
I was gonna move it over anyway, but yeah, thanks, Derek, for picking that one. That was your pick, not mine. That was your pick.
He wasted his pick on Hades. There we go.
Guys, does Genshin Impact deserve a spot on this list?
Absolutely.
Yes,
100%.
I think it looks amazing. Yeah.
I think it looks pretty. I only played it for very few minutes, but I did. It looked really good.
It's one of the. It's free, right?
Yeah.
So it just doesn't.
On PS4.
This type of art style type of game, I'm racist. So it just doesn't appeal to me.
You are racist.
Because it's free.
What type of action is it though?
Well,
it's
live. It's like it's real time.
It's real time. It's so like aesthetically, yeah, it looks like Breath of the Wild, but like combat wise, it's not exactly like that. It's a little faster. It's a little more arcadey.
Yeah,
it's not quite to the point of a Muso game, but it's still faster than Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What would you guys say about something like Fall Guys, which was a little bit of a unique look this year?
I think it's really
fun
looking.
It's really fun looking. Yeah,
because I don't think especially because of what it did for the past year.
I mean, even though it has the word fall in it, I actually do not want it to move over.
I was gonna say, like, I played a lot of hours of this game, and no, I probably wouldn't move this one over.
We called it Greedfall Guys or Godfall Guys.
Godfall Guys.
Maybe.
Crash Bandicoot 4, obviously.
That needs to come over. Thank you, Crash 4.
I mean, me and Kyle just said we don't want Fall Guys to move over, and Motherfudge and Tim doesn't even.
No, hold on, no, you're leaving Fall Guys.
It's gonna leave. It's gonna leave round.
It's not gonna make the next round.
Fall Guys.
These are picks anyone can move.
I just want Kyle and I to be respected. That's all.
You will be on the next round.
No, I'd rather be silenced.
The next round is respect round. Okay, next round is respect round. I'm gonna move Call of the Sea over. I thought that game had some.
It looks really good. Yeah. I would like Battletoads consideration, even if that game is doesn't speak to everybody. I had fun with it. Kyle had fun with it.
Yeah, I think Battletoads is fun. Yeah, I think it looks great too.
Dan and Derek, you're the only ones who played Astro, right? Was that one worth bringing over for visuals? I thought it looked pretty good on the videos.
I mean, it looks nice, but I wouldn't.
No, I thought it was bland.
I don't think Animal Crossing deserves to come over. Sorry, but if you guys think so,
Animal Crossing does deserve to go over.
I just think it looks like another
It
just looks like another Animal.
I probably played more hours of that game than any game this year, and I don't know.
What about Bugsnax?
Sorry about your time.
No, you see.
Hey, I was agreeing with you guys. I don't know if I bring up.
What you just said a second ago, that Bugsnax is not worth it. No.
Okay.
Bugsnax is ugly. Terrible looking.
Creeks is really cool looking.
Have you guys some of these games are made up? Creeks has to be made up. You just made
not, dude. Creeks is a side-scrolling game. Do you remember? What was that game where you can control time and it's kind of like Braid? Remember Braid?
Yes.
Creeks is like the nightmare version of Braid. It's very similar artistically. It's side-scrolling, and you got to stay in the light. You hear these creepy noises, these creaks in the house, and you go to investigate. And there's monsters that are trying to kill you. You got to stay in the light. It's a kind of an interesting little game. Not best visual, but it is interesting. Same with Crosscode. It's got a cool throwback Super Nintendo vibe to it. Very fast-paced kind of action RPG. I do like Crosscode, but even as far as like pixelated games goes, it's not the best looking one.
What does need to go on this list, I haven't even played it yet, but it is gorgeous, is 13 Sentinels. So
yeah, I'm all about that art style for sure.
I want to get that.
Can we move 2 games over? I want Hyrule Warriors and Immortals.
Hyrule's good, yeah.
I'm backing up both of those. Yeah. I would like Spiritfarer over too if we're just screaming out.
I'll scroll down here.
Neon Demon as well.
Oh, Lord, there is
Neon
way
Demon. Sorry, that's a movie. Neon Abyss.
Neon Abyss.
Neon Demon. That movie was pretty, but not in the same way.
And Ori, of course. I guess Paper Mario for what it does, like with its concept and stuff.
I haven't played it. It looked good, but I haven't played it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. I don't feel very strongly about that. I think my opinion of that game is holding me back from going. Visuals are amazing or whatever.
I just want that game to be an RPG so bad, and they won't do it. And I just have sour grapes. I have sour grapes about that game all day.
Fair.
I would say Sackboy deserves to be on there.
I was going to ask about that one. Okay.
I've heard things. Super Hot had a new one?
Yeah, that's the one I've been playing.
Yeah, it's good, but all right,
what about the pathless for you pathless people?
Yes.
I think it deserves some consideration.
For you pathless people.
Consideration, yes, but
listen, it's not.
I don't know that it'll be 10.
Even as like these types of games go with like the faceless characters and kind of that cool art style goes, it's not the best looking I've ever seen of that, but it is cool. It's really the bosses that are striking. The bosses are very striking.
The boss battles are those are epic.
Hey, there's that game you were talking about, the last Campfire. There you go.
Last Campfire, yeah.
Yeah, no, it looks all right.
Well, no, but I'm saying that was them.
That's the Hello Game. Yeah, Hello Games.
The Falconeer is a good looking game too.
Falconeer is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Superliminal. I played it in 2019, so I don't know what. I played it on PC. Did it release to consoles or something?
Okay.
How dare you, Tim?
Is that what it did? Did it release to consoles or something?
I think that's what happened.
Probably. It probably was on PC in 2019.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, the visuals in that are completely amazing. it's because it's like a perception type of puzzle game, and I don't know how they did it. Where like
I played one kind of like that called Manifold Garden, but it quickly became disappointing on what the puzzles. But it looks cool. Like it looks like one of those depth perception puzzles where it's like the stairs are going up, but wait, now they're going down. How do they do that?
It's like that, or you pick up like a triangle shape, and then if you move it a little, like I don't know, if you move it somewhere else in the room, it suddenly becomes giant or something. It's a freaking wild, some of the visuals that they did in that game.
Right, can you scroll up a little bit? I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Yep, we've got Minecraft Dungeons. I thought was really cool.
That's a fun one. Yeah.
All right, I think I've gotten everything I want.
I really like Journey to Savage Planet. Just going to throw that out there, but I don't know about visuals. I think the visuals
was kind of lame looking.
Really? I'm moving Monster Sanctuary over. I think it's awesome when it comes to that pixel art style. I know it's not going to make a top 10 or anything like crazy, but it's worth calling out if you like that style of.
Has anybody other than me played Huntdown?
I know what game that is.
Is that the shooter?
It's kind of like a shooter,
the multiplayer
side-scrolling
one?
Shooter.
No,
like
I'm thinking of a different game.
Oh, okay.
All right, I meant to mention this in the first go. We scrolled down before I could say it, but Haven, to me, is one of the coolest looking games this year.
I've never heard of it.
Sakura Rise and Ruin is actually a really nice looking game.
That one does look good. I forgot about that one. Where is that?
I haven't actually played it yet, unfortunately, but it's a really nice looking game.
It looks great. Yeah.
I heard, well, I not heard, I saw that. I haven't played it though, but Shantae or whatever, that looks really good.
Shantae is I played the one before this one and I really liked it. I haven't played the newer one, so
it looks good, but I mean, again, I really wish I played.
At least one of us has to have played it, right, for us to really talk about it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let me just organize these so we can kind of consolidate a little bit.
Oh, also, Darksiders Genesis is fun, but
not very good looking.
It looks like a Diablo game. So I mean,
Derek, did you think that game was good looking?
Yeah, but it technically came out in 2019.
I
got it on PC.
First.
Yeah, and then it came out on consoles.
Same thing with the tiebreaker I made for that kind of stuff was because we've done this for so many years in a row now. If we didn't consider it the year before, let's go ahead and consider it this time because now it's out on consoles. So that's kind of how I approached it.
I mean, I think it's good looking, but it's not going to win. I don't care about it.
Yeah. Okay. So stuff that we didn't bring over. I'm just looking through that list real quick. Empire of Sin didn't look.
I remember really loving Huntdown, but I got to look up the visuals again.
Inmost looks cool, but I haven't played it, so I can't speak to it. John Wick Hex is a cool style, but I would not call it one of the best animated visuals of the year by any stretch. I played the demo for Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. It was fine. It was a rhythm game, but it looks like a lesser version of Kingdom Hearts 3, visually at least.
Which is basically like a Pixar movie, right?
It's not even close to a Pixar movie, you son of it. More Creative is cool. So it's on Game Pass. If you guys have Game Pass, More Creative is like. Did you ever play Brothers, where you used the two different analog sticks to control the Brothers? It's a little bit of Brothers vibe to More Cred with the puzzles, but the idea is as soon as you hit any shadow, even a shadow cast by the other character, you die. You die instantly. You have to stay in the light. So it's an interesting, and so the lighting and shadow effects are cool, but the rest of the visuals won't blow you away. It's just the shadow effects are cool. I don't see anything else.
Huntdown. Huntdown doesn't really look that amazing. I guess it's a side-scrolling shooter type of Contra-esque, I guess. But it's not as fast-paced as that. But yeah, that's a really fun game. Highly recommend that type of.
Is that the one that
80s looking game?
It's kind of looks like that, but you play like a merc and you kind of swap. You have 3 different characters you can choose between. I think it might be multiplayer.
It looked kind of like Broforce. You ever played Broforce?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
is it the one that Don from Easy Allies likes? He's mentioned it a couple of times.
Yeah, he does. Pretty sure.
Okay,
it's really fun, man, because you can enemies drop weapons all the time, so you can just constantly picking up. It's kind of like Neon Abyss that way, where you're just constantly picking up new stuff all the time. Has anybody played Neon Abyss too?
No.
Dang it!
Oh no, I did play that. That had a demo, right? I did play that.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, the visuals
it's very shiny,
cool,
very glowy.
It plays with neon, and it's another side scroller, but
very shiny, very
and
fast.
It also forces you to think about what weapons you want to take on a level or whatever. Sure. That's a really unique game.
The other one that we didn't bring over that I'll just mention, Shady Part of Me, looks like very cool artistically. I just haven't played it, but it released late in the year. It's on a bunch of consoles. It has to do with like it's very pencil drawn looking with animated pencil drawings, and there's like a shadow involved.
I probably would have ended up fanboying over that one if I played it.
Shady part of me looks really cool. I just don't know if it's a good game or if it actually looks great when playing it.
I meant to play If Found. I know it was nominated for some game award or whatever. Whoops. Oh well. I own it too. Whoops.
Way to go. All right, so we've got just over 20 games that we all decided to move over for best animated visuals. Again, I think here we can do the similar thing and skip round 2 and just go right to narrow it to the 10.
I agree.
And start ranking them. Yeah. So, Derek, what about you? What would you want to move over to the top 10 right away? And we can start with
Immortals.
I've got no problem with that. I think it's
game.
Gorgeous.
I am game.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll follow in those footsteps and say I think Hyrule Warriors is one of the best looking animated games this year.
I'll agree with that.
Okay. Is this going to be the 2 big budget games, just destroying all the little guys? Is that what's happening here?
I don't think so.
Dan, what about you?
I pick Ori.
Yeah.
Ori.
The Sony guy picking a Microsoft game. Oh.
The audacity.
Fake fan.
Kyle, what would you move over?
I would honestly say Spiritfarer. I think
man.
This looks amazing.
I'm with that.
Spiritfarer is actually at the top of my list on this particular one.
Same here, honestly.
Same.
Oh boy, majority.
Sounds like a majority to me, guys.
Bring it up.
I'm gonna bring Hades.
Guess who's gonna fight you to the death?
Yeah, Hades was gonna be my choice as well.
Derek, being completely objective, do you honestly think Hades isn't one of the top 10 best looking animated games, or
No, I'm more angry about the Spiritfarer. I'm looking at it. You guys are terrible. Like this is
Are you
ugly.
Kidding me? You have
this is ugly, he says.
I can't tell if you're going for a laugh or not because it's one of the most gorgeous things ever.
Yeah,
I'm laughing more at you guys. I'm watching a video right now.
Okay,
it's ugly. It's terrible.
Well, thank you for sharing your terrible opinion.
You have the worst taste in.
Dan, have you played Spiritfarer?
Have I? No, but I mean I've seen it. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's
stupid look.
Especially when you have to pick up the squids or whatever.
Yeah,
dude,
this guy over
so
here,
gorgeous.
Just wait until you hug your first NPC. It's so soft.
All right, so give me
this guy over here with
Genshin Impact.
Is ugly, but
Genshin Impact.
So
okay, Genshin Impact. Any opposition to Genshin Impact coming over for visuals?
I didn't play it, but I
think it's
visual
great.
Style isn't really my cup of tea, but I'll let y'all fight for that. That's all good.
Okay.
I think Crash 4 was a really good looking game.
Sure.
No.
It is.
Kyle, you and I feel the exact same about Crash series. We're just
it's okay.
Sure, it's all right.
Listen, this is someone I've never played. I have never finished any of the other games. I thought all of them were mediocre and couldn't get into them. I got Crash 4. I'm pretty sure, Derek, you bought it. That's why I have it, right? Didn't you buy that game?
No, you bought it.
Did I buy it?
Yes. Yes, old man, you bought it.
Thanks.
I played it off your purchase.
Maybe I got it on sale. I don't remember why I bought it, but I like it a lot. And it's not my favorite. It's not in my top 10 of favorite games to play this year. Sorry, Gaston, and anybody else who loves it.
Yeah. Stop apologizing to Gaston. Gaston, you have terrible taste.
I do think visually, it's pretty good looking. But
no, it's very nice looking. Yeah.
I think it looks great. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
This is not for how it plays. This is for how it looks.
I'm here.
Oh, really? I said that about Godfall, and you all shit on me.
Well, come on, Derek.
Because you latch on to mediocre games like nobody else does. I swear.
Speaking of Spiritfarer, I really think that one needs to get the hell off the list.
Yeah, like to the top, so we stop talking about it. I agree. We just lock it at the top. We don't have to talk about it anymore.
I genuinely am confused as to why you don't think that looks good.
I'm confused too. Yeah.
I'm honestly confused on how 3 grown-ass, apparently not gay men can like that game. Like, actually,
what is gay about Spiritfarer?
I get it. You're being the heel. I get it. I get it. Yeah.
This isn't about liking the game because the gameplay is certainly not going to appeal.
How it looks. I'm not talking about just liking the game. I just looked at it. I was like, this is terrible.
How can you think Genshin Impact looks good but not think Spiritfarer?
Hold on.
It's a lot of the same color palette.
Tim, I think I figured it out. Any game that has any sort of actual emotion in it, he's just not going to like it.
The emotion's just oozing off the visual.
Don't let him in. Don't let the emotions in.
Huh. All right. Well, looking at the other games that are left, we've got 3 more spots. Derek, why don't you pick one that you want to move over?
I would go with the Pathless.
I love that game. I don't know if I'd put it in there over some of these other ones. I'm just going to move it over 1.
Same.
I'd actually put Haven in before that. Have you guys not played Haven? Anybody played it?
I just played it. I actually really like it. Very simple.
I haven't played it yet. I know what it looks like, but
yeah.
I'm not saying it's a great game. Jesse White, our buddy, very correct. It does get very repetitive. It's not like
I haven't gotten that far, to be fair, but yeah.
The gameplay isn't something anything to write home about.
Oh yeah, I've seen the visuals of this. It looks kind of cool.
It looks like Genshin Impact, really.
It does. But when you start flying around and then you start to find these paths where you can actually fly up into the air and follow this kind of stream of energy around, it's just really creative visually. Again, can get redundant visually too. So I don't know. I kind of put it
into the middle. Maybe
it's not totally like Genshin, because Genshin is like pretty like Genshin is like when you look at a scene and if you remove the character, you'll be like, oh, this is Breath of the Wild. Like
the backgrounds do for sure. I guess
it's just absolutely just straight up Breath of the Wild. So.
I'm locking onto that like anime looking like character.
See, I'm more. I like Haven better look. I think Haven's better looking than Spiritfarer. It's just the art style. I don't like Spiritfarer. I thought it looked stupid. This looks cooler. But obviously you can tell by my taste. What are the games I picked? Immortals, Hyrule Warriors, and Genshin Impact. And they all 3 look very, very similar.
Yeah.
And then Ori would actually be my top spot. Ori and the Will of the Wisp to me.
I think Ori deserves to be pretty high up there.
I mean, Ori is literally art. It's like a painting. It's literally.
I wouldn't have a problem with that either.
Yeah.
If we've got, this is how it's going to go for most of these discussions. If there's anyone who's dramatically opposed to something being in the top spot, we got to hear it out and maybe pick something that we're more okay. Like for me, here, I'll show you the ones that I think deserve to be towards the top. It's going to be Ori. It's going to be Spiritfarer. Sorry, Derek. It's going to be Hades too. I think that belongs on there. Those are the ones that I think are in the top, personally, for this animated category. I do think
Immortals needs to be higher.
Okay.
Not just because I like the game. I think it looks amazing.
Depends on what console you play it on there too. But yeah, on PC it looks fantastic.
Well, Xbox Series X looks amazing too.
Okay.
13 Sentinels definitely needs to be on the list.
I think so too. Art style.
I just haven't played it, so I'll trust your judgment.
Picking a lot of the same looking games, aren't we?
A lot of anime looking games in this for sure.
I mean, anime always wins, Jeff. All right, just anime always wins.
Hey, I tried to pick Pathless.
I think Call of the Sea needs to be considered. Call of the Sea has.
I think Call of the Sea looks awesome.
Has this really cool. It has these moments where it's like, oh, this looks a little bit like Sea of Thieves, and then other times a little bit like Wind Waker, and it's just got a really cool aesthetic where it's sometimes cel shaded, sometimes realistic, sometimes just a cartoon brought to life, and it's all in first person.
I think it's cool. It reminds me of like Firewatch, the animation style a little bit.
It's a better looking Firewatch, yeah. It is. Some of the lighting there is pretty interesting too. So as you get farther in the game and start unlocking bigger parts of the island and bigger elements start to move around, it really is like, whoa, they did some cool things here. So I really like Call of the Sea. Trying to think what else should go over here.
If more people played Superliminal, I would fight for that more, because the way that they played with perspective is just, it blows my mind to make an entire game out of that, but it's fine.
The more I'm thinking about the path list, the more I want to move it over. There are a lot of moments where you get up to the top of these towers and you look out over the entire kind of whatever plateau you're on, and you jump out and start gliding with your eagle. It is really cool looking.
Oh, dude, and when you put on that mask and you can see like your objectives and how red they glow, it's just the way that they glow, man. It kind of blows me away a little bit.
The world looks really good and the character model's interesting, but it's really, man, those boss fights are so epic. And I know we're not voting on boss fights here, but the visuals during the boss fights, like that final boss fight was just visually, I had to lean back as I'm fighting. I was like, dude, this is so good. This is so good. So
it's crazy to think about this developer that did Abzu, some abstract underwater game, did a really good indie like action game.
They kind of did like Shadow of the Colossus mini, because it's a much shorter game, right?
Yeah.
Much fewer bosses to fight, but it's very similar because there's no enemies to fight until you get to boss battles. All right, so we've got 8 games up here so far.
Man, I feel bad about Paper Mario.
I think all of us
at least seen I didn't think it was that good looking of a game, but really? I hate the origami crap.
What about Sackboy, which I thought looked amazing in the videos? Does it look great?
If I played Sackboy, I'd probably be like.
So Sackboy, Sackboy: A Big Adventure just looks like a way more detailed version of the Little Big Planet games, but they actually, and it's Sumo Digital. It's not actually
Media Molecule.
Media Molecule, thank you. It's not them, but they even borrowed a little bit from Tearaway. There's actually some kind of paper textures in the environments too. Like it's a really cool combination of what Little Big Planet is and a little bit of Tearaway. Cool. And it is actually pretty detailed. There's a lot of really cool looking characters that you meet, and the outfits that you wear are really cool too. A lot of customization, but I think visually it's very interesting, and it actually is pretty detailed. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's quite on the level of Crash, because Crash you could probably actually seriously make an argument for being oh, this is almost Pixar-esque. Not so much Sackboy.
Yeah, like 90s Pixar maybe.
Okay, sure. For God's sake, some people need glasses or something.
No, you need to watch more current Pixar movies.
I have. I just don't want to watch Toy Story 4 because they should have ended at 3. All right.
See, I picked Crash in the same way that
4, the animation looks amazing.
In the same way that I picked Ratchet and Clank back in 2016 as one of the coolest looking games. I think Crash is right up there with it. I think it looks great.
I don't know. I think Ratchet looks way better than that, but
well,
it's fine to leave it in the 10. I'm just we're just talking about it.
Yeah. Do you mean the new Ratchet that's coming out? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, that does look better than Sackboy.
No, I meant the one from 2016.
I meant that one. I think it looks
that
better
was one of the best.
4.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. We've got 2 spots. Haven, Call of the Sea, 13 Sentinels are not on the list. Do we want to move 2 of them over, or is there anything else that we have left off that is upsetting anybody?
Man.
I mean,
nobody else is going to vouch for this, but I really loved the animation of Battletoads. It felt like I was playing a cartoon.
I thought Battletoads looked good.
I thought Battletoads looked like hand drawn and looked really awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta subtract the fact that
that's almost so that much. But for me, I kind of compare that if it was it would be battling Ori, and I think Ori is a better looking game.
Oof.
That's how I see it in my head. It would be one or the other of those.
But Ori would be so high on the list, and it's a totally different style.
No, to me, Battletoads would be like a 10. If it's on the list,
yeah, it would be super
low. Yeah.
Ori to me is number 1.
No, right, but I'm
top
just
2 or 3.
Yeah. Again, I'm talking about from the hand drawn and perspective.
I see. Yeah.
I don't think is Ori hand drawn. Doesn't look hand drawn to me.
I would say it's definitely hand.
Like maybe some scenes, some backgrounds or something. Yeah. But the
gameplay, everything starts out hand drawn.
Yes, of course.
I
think once you leave it in the game, as the game looks,
Fair looks like animated drawings by an animator.
Yes. And that's what Hades looks like too. Yeah, you can tell when it's hand drawn.
Animated drawings by an animator or any kind of artist, but it doesn't mean it still looks like a piece of art. But anyway, we'll get back to Ori. I think based on what it's
subjective, Tim, everything is art.
Interesting. Based on what I've heard, it sounds like there was a lot of approval for Battletoads, at least from 3 of you, and I'm kind of Battletoads is fine. And then the other one, I don't think we have enough support for 13 Sentinels. Not that we didn't.
I'm telling you, everyone look up 13 Sentinels right now. It's from vanilla. It's from Vanillaware.
I've seen what it looks like, and it looks really cool. I watched a lot of videos of it because I wanted to buy it, but it won't drop from $60. It's very annoying.
Yeah. From the guys that did Dragon's Crown and
looks all right.
And Odin Sphere.
I think it looks
both
good,
beautiful games.
But I personally would put in Call of the Sea and Haven before it, based on what I've seen of it.
I think Call of the Sea looks awesome. I'm not going to fight against that one. I think that game.
It does look good, but I think I like the art style better in Haven, even though I haven't played it.
I think Haven looks better. But they're again going for 2
in the top 10 and 13 Sentinels isn't. We're just gonna look like a bunch of dude bros who don't know what we're talking about.
Nah, that's not true. 13 Sentinels is just gonna look. 13 Sentinels is fine. It's you're exaggerating because you like anime.
All right, guys. So
and again, anime wins, Jeff. All right, anime wins.
Let's start with this group of 4 at the bottom. We've got too many to be in 10 for now. That's okay. instead of trying to battle out who gets.
Yeah, we'll just rank them and then whatever's left, basically. Yeah.
So between actually, let me move Battletoads up one. Between Battletoads and Pathless, which would you rank higher? I personally would pick Pathless ahead of it. Kyle, which one would you pick?
I would say, oh gosh, I mean, I would say Battletoads, just because I haven't seen all the cool boss stuff that you're talking about in Pathless, so I'm a little uninformed there. So it's an uninformed choice.
Jeff, you've played both. What do you think?
Yeah, I actually do think I prefer the style of Battletoads. It's more consistent. Like Pathless is more like I appreciate moments of the visuals or whatever.
That's fair.
And fair. Battletoads is more like consistently like, wow, this looks really cool.
And Derek, you like the Battletoads look too, right?
I like both. They're both completely different. Battletoads just looks like an amazing cartoon. Mm-hmm. Battletoads makes me feel like it's like Rayman Origins. And then Pathless is more of your emotional artsy stuff.
Yeah.
Rayman's a good comparison for Battletoads.
So I think I played that one.
What about Crash Bandicoot 4 Battletoads? Both kind of have cartoon aesthetics, just very different.
I like Battletoads more.
I do too.
I do too, but I mean...
No, just put it ahead. Tim doesn't count.
Okay, good.
I'm moving Crash below Pathless and Battletoads for now.
That's why Tim changes the screen to the list so he can roll his eyes and flick me off when I talk.
Well, I don't know about Pathless being better than Crash 4 per se. We'll get there when we get there. We might want to figure out the top, I guess, first or something.
Yeah, I'm kind of moving into this section right here where we had Immortals, Hyrule Warriors, and Genshin Impact. Derek, we'll start with you since you like those three, and then Dan, I want to hear what you think. How would you rank those three?
Immortals, Genshin, Hyrule.
Yeah, Dan, what would you say for that?
I suppose that's fair.
I think that's probably fair. The knock against Hyrule Warriors is
it's totally resolution.
There's a lot of
totally resolution. It's
the resolution, of course, but there's also a lot of pop-in. So a lot of enemies won't show up until you're literally swinging your weapon right there.
Yeah, yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, I played it briefly before we recorded.
Yeah, so it's still looks good. It's just
for sure
a little bit of technical hiccups. Genshin Impact, I think, is really pretty. I prefer the style
about that game. Where do you guys play that one? Where do you prefer to play that one?
I played it on both PC and PS4.
It actually does have 60 frames on PS5 as well, so it runs smoother too. So it looks nice. Cool.
Yeah. So, but I personally, I like your pick of Immortals over Genshin, Derek. I agree with that. I think Immortals is fantastic, and of course, I love the Greek mythology setting, and I think they really nail kind of a lighthearted take on that. And I love their monster design too. It's really, really good.
That's why it should be number 2. I agree.
Mm-hmm. All right. So speaking of Greek mythology, Hades versus Immortals. Jeff,
I'm Immortals.
Kyle, Jeff, Dan, what do you think?
I mean, I would put Hades lower in the list, more in the middle, but that's just me.
Okay. All right.
Man, all of games media is gonna be so mad at this podcast because I don't think Hades is gonna get as much love as they've given it.
Yeah.
There was so much of games media Twitter.
Yeah,
going,
but
game of the year, and I'm like, all right, let's calm down.
let's settle down.
Of the whole year.
Yeah, the whole year. Did you play everything?
Yeah.
Is that the only game you played?
Yeah, right. I love the game. I put a lot of hours into it, but
Hades.
the whole year, it's okay. Sure, I guess. I gotta be honest. I think Hades looks better than Immortals to me, but I did play Immortals on Switch too, so.
Yeah, I played Immortals on. I do play Immortals on Switch, but
I think it looks great on Switch too. Just the draw distance is garbage.
I'm with Kyle. I just like the style of Hades better.
Me too.
I don't know.
Honestly, that's what it comes down to. It's what type of anime, cartoon, what style are you into?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep, I give Hades just barely the edge over Immortals, and I love the way.
We're talking splitting hairs.
Same here. Yeah.
Dan, any thoughts on those two?
I mean,
well, he
as
won.
Far as what I would pick Immortals above Hades, but again, I think Hades should go more in the middle, but that's just me. So.
Okay. What about Spiritfarer, Ori? Do they both belong in the top 2? And if not, where would you put them? Who would you put at the top? Kyle, let's start with you.
I would say, oh gosh, I mean, if I'm being really objective, I think Spiritfarer is my favorite of the year, but I think Ori looks better, so I think Ori should probably be at the top.
Yeah, my personal list has Spiritfarer as my favorite visual, but
I really
Ori, like. What do I have? Ori, I think I have Ori at 2. So putting it on our combined list at number 1 is fine with me.
Yeah, I mean, I'd put it Spiritfarer at number 1 personally because I think that game is just like really like lighthearted and like pretty.
So just vote. Ori can be got 2 votes for number 1 right there.
All right, well, I'd say Spiritfarer. Or like, there's not a lot of like lighthearted, like pretty beautiful games. And
Ori, I think Dan and Derek pick Ori. So Jeff, it's down to you.
Well, I just don't think. I mean, is Ori really that different visually from the first one? I mean, it looks good like the first one did.
But I mean, that shouldn't be a knock against it, though.
I don't know, man.
I do think they do a lot of different things. They introduced some really interesting looking bosses and monsters that weren't in the first one. It was all about the one bird, and now they got this wolf and a spider and all kinds of other creatures that are coming at you.
They definitely do more in this one than they ever did in the first one, and of course they didn't change the art style, so.
Even before they patched it and the performance wasn't perfect, when they would zoom out and you would have these huge epic chases and battle moments, I thought it was amazing.
Talk about redoing the game.
To me, Ori and the Will of the Wisps is probably the best looking game if you combine the list we did before, realistic, and this list, and said just pick one game. I think Ori is the best looking game.
I think.
Well, you're high, but that's okay.
I am high.
So stoned right now.
I'm so high. I don't know. I'm high.
I'm the king of Staten Island right now.
I personally would go Spiritfarer, but Spiritfarer doesn't feel right, I guess. I don't know.
It doesn't because we have someone opposed to it. I feel like everyone likes Ori a lot if they don't pick it first, and I don't think everyone loves Spiritfarer even being on the list.
Yeah, so. Spiritfarer can go.
No, I think Spiritfarer.
I didn't cut Tim.
I think Spiritfarer should go on the list, but like for example, like I think 13 Sentinels is slightly above Spiritfarer, but that's just me, so
it's fine.
And I think Crash should be higher too, but that's just me.
I just have trouble ranking 13 Sentinels because I'm only hearing one person who has played. Have you played it or just seen it?
I played it too, and I really enjoyed that game. I think.
No, I haven't played it, but I mean I've seen a lot of the game.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah.
I would say the combat leaves a lot to be desired in terms of like how it's presented, like visual wise, but like the character models and like everything, like everyone, when you look at someone in that game, like you're like, you're that person. It's very distinctive.
The actual art direction,
Yeah.
So Kyle, if it moved into this top 4, where would you put it? Around Ori, Spiritfarer, and Hades, where would you put it?
13 Sentinels?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I mean, I would say that Spiritfarer and Ori all look better than it. I would even say Hades probably looks better than 13 Sentinels, but maybe 13 Sentinels at number 4, if I was going to choose something. But I'm not going to fight against like those next 3 being in front of Sentinel as well, just because it's kind of an uphill battle for that game. That's just my opinion.
I think if 13 Sentinels is going on there because Kyle's the only one that played it, it should be bottom, like, because he's not even like, hey, I played it and it's so beautiful, it needs to be top 3.
That's kind of what I was listening for, was whoever actually played it. Because I've seen videos of it too, and I think it looks amazing, and I know it got nominated.
Yeah, it looks like anime.
No, I just wish
that's my point.
That visual like transferred over into the battles. That's why I guess I'm not so like, yes, like this game, like I feel like if the combat was presented in like a cooler, more artistic way, instead of just like squares blowing up and stuff.
If the combat was more like Odin Sphere or Dragon's Crown, then
yeah.
I heard it has like the best story of 2020. Like,
I hear I haven't beat it yet, but I'm telling you, it's some like the most memorable characters, an amazing story. Like,
and I wanted to play it until I just didn't.
Yeah, combat wise, I don't think that's your cup of tea. So.
Until mainstream media told you it was good, and you were like, "I'm out."
Yeah, that's absolutely right. It's the Persona 4 Golden this year.
Jeff Keighley told you to play it, and you said no.
All right, so here's what we've got right now based on our conversation, and we can adjust as needed. Although the more I'm thinking about it, and I know we already have anime ones up there. I'm so sorry, but I want to move Haven up. But I don't want to push it too far. Like, I personally would put this just underneath Hades, just above Immortals. That's where I would put it. But I'm okay with it staying lower if I'm the only one.
Who else played Haven? I played it. I thought it looked good.
I think it looks great. Yeah. I actually played it. I actually played it because of its art style. So I mean, I was like, oh, this looks cool.
I think right behind Battletoads could work too. Just moving it up a couple spots is fine. It's harder when only one person has really played it.
Yeah, I haven't played it. It's just I'm looking at it from an art style perspective.
It's like a dating sim, but you're already dating someone / It is like you're like
that's so weird.
chatting.
Well, what's interesting is that it's not, because that's what I thought it was. I thought I was getting into like an adventure game where I'm going to be choosing dialogue and hoping someone falls in love with me or stays in love with me. You actually control both characters. You can switch between them both in dialogue and in action while you're out and about. It's interesting because you're not really. It's a survival game, but there's also really
But if you answer correctly, like you'll get charisma point. Like you'll you up like your skills go up if you're answering.
It's actually kind of adorable and at times a little inappropriate.
Oh, it's super. I think it's super adorable. Like because it's a love story and like
well acted. It's anyway. I know that's not what we're talking about, but
okay. Exactly.
Okay. So the ones that are on the outside looking in right now are Call of the Sea and 13 Sentinels. Does this mean we need to consider getting rid of Crash or Pathless, or are we okay with booting out those two?
I feel like I've played a first-person game like Call of the Sea before. I know the art style is really good.
Hey, Derek.
But like,
I didn't talk about Call of the Sea because when I played it, I thought it was not attractive.
That's fine.
I'm not saying it's not like a good-looking game for what it's going for, but it's not my style.
And Jeff, you make a good point. It's not.
Like I mentioned Firewatch, and it's just kind of like there's so many. It's kind of like a walking sim, but there's more. You're doing more stuff than that.
But it's not even as good as some of walking sims have looked visually. So that's fair. That's fair. I do like the style of it, though. I recommend it if you guys like.
I definitely recommend the game itself. Yeah, it's really good.
Games. Do we want to fight to keep 13 Sentinels on, Kyle and/or Dan?
I mean, I would put it above Crash personally, but I'm not gonna sit here and like fight for this game.
I mean, if I had to choose between the two, I would pick 13 Sentinels. But
I would pick 13 over Crash too.
Anything you would totally kick off the list, Dan? That's on there. Yeah, because you said you'd put over Crash, but I wasn't sure if you meant.
I think Pathless would be at the bottom for me.
So Pathless or Crash is kind of what it's coming down to. I'm gonna move Call of the Sea back over here. Sounds like Pathless or Crash at the very bottom. By the way, this is someone who's played Pathless, played on the PC, highest possible settings. I think it looks good. I love the style, but I'm not fighting for it over 13 Sentinels because it's not my favorite looking game, even though I loved the game.
Same here.
Then I would say whoever's played Pathless and Crash should be able to make the decision. I played Crash. I've only seen videos of Pathless. I personally like Pathless style. That was what drew me to let me watch the reviews and stuff. But
I think Crash.
I don't really care.
I think Crash is better animated, artistic, whatever you want to call them, visuals overall. It's very detailed, really creative.
All right,
Pathless is very
2 votes for Crash, 1 vote for Pathless. So Kyle and Dan just need to vote.
I mean, I haven't played Crash, but I've seen both of them, and I would say Crash definitely has like the better like graphical fidelity, if you want to say that. But like the Pathless is a little more artistically. It's the Pathless is a little more artistically my thing. So like I don't know. Take that for however you want. I would keep Crash on there if everyone's fighting for that one.
All right, well, I think we got the list.
I think we do too. I think we've got our list. Here's our top 10 animated or artistic visuals of the year. It's Ori at number 1, and then Spiritfarer, Hades, Immortals, Genshin Impact, Hyrule Warriors, Battletoads, Haven, 13 Sentinels, and Crash Bandicoot 4. And this is why I didn't want to keep the realistic versus the whatever you want to call it, non-realistic together. It's like these are hard enough to compare.
Yeah.
And if you throw in all the realistic stuff, it's like, how do you measure this?
To be fair, we would have eliminated like 8 of these.
Oh, I have a question.
I agree. Maybe 7, yeah.
What? I guess it would fall in this category. Has anybody played Dreams?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there's a ton of animated stuff there. I just didn't know what.
So that's a weird one because it depends on who made which user made thing you're playing.
I mean, there's
like almost no realistic stuff in there, in my opinion. And the demo, the 3 or 4 hour demo, whatever, is all animated and it's just amazing.
Dreams is cool. I enjoyed my time.
I still would prefer like Sackboy, for example.
Yeah. I get that. There was just a lot of stunning stuff in the demo. Like it was so
Thank you for using the word stunning. Thank you.
That was brave of him.
It was very
brave use of the word stunning. I agree.
Well, it was actually a brave game to make, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about the the votes that we got. We actually got a lot fewer votes for the best animated visuals than we did realistic. But
uncultured jerks.
They were also more spread out.
Swines.
Because there were so many options, the results were really spread out. There were a lot of games that just got 1 vote or 2 votes. But it came down to, I'll give you the top.
Did John's mom get a vote at all? Did anybody vote for John's mom?
That only on the write-in ones, and on the write-in ones for mobile and PC, yes, I did see some John's. I saw John's mom, Tim's mom, and Derek's mom. No, Dan.
My mom's dead, by the way, listener. So.
No, Dan's mom.
Rude, everybody.
I saw a few other things too, but I think there were three fill-ins for PC, which is our next pick. That just said PC Master Race. That's all it said. My favorite PC game this year was
that
PC
was
Master.
Just me 3 times on TV.
Probably. All right, so I'll give you the top 6 since they had the most votes for best animated visuals. Number 6 was Genshin Impact. Number 5 was Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. Whoa. Number 4 was Crash Bandicoot 4. Number 3 was Animal Crossing, which we rudely left off the list altogether.
Yeah,
rudely.
Number 2 was Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and number 1 was Hades.
Ooh.
Okay. So again,
80 snobs.
How voting always
Games
works.
Media voted on this one.
It's just based off of whether you like the game or not.
How many times did Jeff Keighley vote? How many times did Jeff Keighley vote?
Hey, you leave that saint out of this.
I vote for Hades and Death Stranding. Death Stranding.
That's good.
I vote for Death Stranding.
How dare you?
I think there was a Jeff Keighley, a Joe Keighley, a John Keighley. Is that weird that there were?
Is there?
Yeah.
I think Fall Guys was just get a lot of votes there because it was free to play and everybody was playing it for a few months.
I mean, Genshin Impact's free too, so it's possible.
Yeah.
Both
well, it wasn't free to play.
But Fall Guys was like a cultural thing. Like everybody wouldn't shut up
about it. Like teenagers, including my son, one of my sons, was obsessed with it for a while.
Yeah, it was fun. But,
Then he moved on to Rocket League like a good man.